What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. NFL DFS breakdown. This is the Thursday night football showdown. We are already into week 4, which is wild. Cannot believe we're here. We are looking at the Dallas Cowboys at the New York Giants. So we're going to look at them. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about some statistics that we're going to look at. Then we're going to build a few lineups using Sabersim. Now, we've used it for MLB. We used it for NFL this week. Did really well ourselves in a private league. But we're going to go through everything. So we're going to look at them. We're going to see what the lineups look like, and we're going to go from there. So if you have not checked out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, make sure to check us out. If you have not checked out Outlier.Bet right now, that is what's on the screen. It breaks it down. It looks at money line. So both teams are 50% on the money line in their last 10 games. Dallas Cowboys, the defense absolutely rocked in week 1, and they have shuddered in the past 2 weeks. So if you look at their defense, just kind of taking a look at the Cowboys defense, game log 17 in week 1. Week 2, 1. Week 3, -1. Now, this is a plus matchup for the Cowboys defense because they're going up against the Giants, which have been bad. Both teams are 1 and 2, but the Giants have actually looked pretty good as of late. And we'll kind of look at this like Daniel Jones, week 1, nothing. But weeks 2 and 3, he's had over 100 rating. He's had 2 touchdowns in each of those. He does run the ball as well. So he is there. Honestly, I have no idea which Cowboys defense is going to show up, but we are going to build for you guys. We're going to look at them. So I'm going to show you, we're going to go over the statistics. Then we're going to talk about how Sabersim can help you. But yeah, so if you want to see this, you want to see player props from each game, you want to break all of that down, make sure you check out the link down below. They have 2 packages, a $20 package and a $130 pro package. Now, you can check out both of them. You're going to get a 7-day free trial regardless of what you sign up for. But what I'm going to have you guys do right now, anyone who signs up for this, for Outlier.Bet, if you go through the 7-day free trial, we are going to give you 7 days. We're going to give you 1 week pass absolutely free. All you got to do is sign up using our link, which you can find down below. If you decide to go on with the $20 package for a month, we're going to give you a month free on top of that. So you technically get 5 weeks free for just using our link to sign up. Now, they do have a $130 package. If you sign up using that, go through 7-day free trial, and then purchase that, we're going to give you 3 months free of FTA+, which is a $90 value on top of what you get there. So if anyone is interested, anyone who signs up using the link this week, we will do that deal for you. Make sure you check us out. Our Discord is down below. I can go into more detail on it there if you need. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the initial talks. We're going to listen to what players go to where, captain spot, how to build a lineup, stacks on top of that. Then we're going to look at those players, and then we're going to build with Sabersim. So get ready, buckle up, get a piece of paper, pen, whatever you need. We're going to rock and roll. All right, so just kind of going through and seeing, this is the data from last year to this year. So when you build your lineups, this is the kind of data that you kind of need to look at. Now, there are going to be some outliers, which we will talk about. But since last year, 84% of these lineups, the winning lineup, has had at least one quarterback. 6% of those lineups have used the entire $50,000 salary, so you don't necessarily have to. So if you build a lineup, don't feel like you have to use all $50,000. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it just doesn't make sense. 16% of the winning lineups had a $200 player or less. So if we go through here and we look at the $200 players, basically it is from Malik Davis down, practice squad, so he's not even there. So most of these people might not even be on the team, or they haven't been called up yet. So just kind of look and see. So kind of look to see if any of them have made any sense, if they're in the game. He might be in the game. $200 player, again, hasn't done anything. So that's just something you're looking at. $200 player there. 80% of the winning lineups have had a $4,000 player or less. So flex option, $400,000 or $44,000 or less would be Turpin and down, whether or not that's going to matter. Giants defense could be a sneaky one. They did well against Cleveland, but again, this is Dallas. So it really just depends if you want to get a little bit crazy and go on down a little bit further. And then the average winning lineup has been about $47,500. So again, it's a week-to-week thing. It's not necessarily the only thing we are going to see. On top of that, stacking is a big deal. Stacking is huge. We understand that. So we look at that. A 4-2 stack has been the winning stack 44% of the time. So the team that they're expected to be winning, so Dallas, they're expecting them to be up. Maybe you build that way. Or you reverse it, and you think Dallas is going to be up big, so you think Daniel Jones is going to have to throw the ball a ton, so you want to go back and forth, and you want a 4-2 stack of the Giants. I completely understand that. 3-3 stack has won it 36% of the time, and 5-1 stack has won it 21% of the time. Then we get down to the captain percentages. So captain-wise, the majority of the time, 39% has been wide receiver is the winning nuts lineup at the captain spot. Running back has been 28% of the time. Quarterback has been 17%. So if you're Josh Allen for what he did on Monday Night Football, that's, there's going to be those outliers, like I said. 7% of the time it's been a tight end. 7% of the time it's been a defense, and 2% of the time it's been a kicker. So think back to Monday Night Football on week 1 with Jake Moody, who went 6 for 6 with field goals, had an absolute career day. That is the outlier with the kicker. So again, wide receivers 39%, running back is 28%, QB is 17%, tight end and defenses are both 7%, and a kicker is 2% the captain in those spots at any given time. So that being said, we'll go into it. We'll look at this game. We'll try to build off of it using the statistics that we just did. So, as of the making of this video, the over-under is 44, and the Cowboys are a 4.5-point favorite. So, if we look at Sabersim, you can see it's a little bit different, but you've got Cowboys 25 implied team total with the Giants as a 20.2 implied team total. So, that is what we're going to do. We are going to use Sabersim, and we're going to build through it. So, obviously, a lot makes sense. CD Lamb, if you think, obviously, he thinks he's going to have a good day. I get that. Kind of a down week in week week 3. Malik Neighbors, I believe, is still the number 1 running or wide receiver in the league after 3 weeks. So, again, if the Giants defense gets torched like they did in weeks 2 and 3, specifically against Lamar last week, Malik Neighbors is probably going to be one of the most sought-after captain spots, which makes a ton of sense. So then, quarterbacks. Like I said, the quarterbacks in that situation are 17% of the time in there. So you got Dak. You've got him in here. A really good game against Baltimore, just the defense gave up too many points. His best game came in that game, 379 yards. So it's not been on him. Like, he had 2 interceptions against New Orleans. New Orleans, their defense is legit. That is. The Giants' defense is not legit. So if you look at the matchup-wise, the Giants' defense against the pass, they're actually ranked 13th out of 32. So that's not bad. Rushing defense, 23 out of 32. And then total offense points allowed per game, 12th. So they've been pretty good for whatever reason. Now they're at home, and there's no splits between home and away like there is in baseball. So Dak, we can look at his numbers. Daniel Jones, obviously we know he had like 7 straight. He had a terrible first week, way worse first week than people thought. It has gotten better every single week this week. And it will really depend on the defense that Dallas decides to throw out there. We look at running backs. Singletary had a fantastic game. He had 65 yards with a touchdown and 4 of 4 targets as well, but he did have a lost fumble, but still put up 19.8, and he's a little bit cheaper than he was in that situation. The Cowboys situation with the running backs is disgusting. It's Dalvin, and it's Elliott, or wait a minute. Yeah, it's Dalvin Cook, it's Zeke Elliott, it's Dowdle. Like, you can look at like nothing there. 32 yards, basically 30 yards. Does get some yards in the air, so about a total of about 60 yards a game out of him. You got Elliott, touchdown in week 1. Nothing going in that. It'll really just depend if the Cowboys are going to be down. They are not going to use their running backs. I don't see any simulation in any world that Zeke makes it in the captain spot or even makes it in the winning lineup. He could be vintage Zeke, I guess, against the Giants. I just don't see it. Dowdle, I don't see it either. You got Dalvin Cook down here, but he hasn't even played. So he's not even going to be elevated for whatever reason. So Dalvin's out, most likely. Again, depending on when you watch this video, maybe he's been called up or maybe he's already been ruled out. So those are kind of where we're at. Obviously, makes a lot of sense of having Lamb or Neighbors in the captain spot. I honestly love Neighbors a little bit more. Ferguson, tight ends overall for the year, they have been bad overall. But Ferguson last week, 15.5 fantasy points, 95 yards. He did exactly what we needed him to do. So he dominated. He got the yardage. I think that could happen again if, in fact, we see a game that's a high-scoring game. Now, Thursday games have been kind of gross for the most part, but let's see what we can get here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Sabersim here, and we are going to build around the lineups here. So I am going to bump up Malik to 28. I like that matchup for him. I think Zeke goes down to 30 just a little bit. I'm moving him a little bit. Daniel Jones, I think he's going to be playing from behind. Again, I don't love him, but he is one that we're looking at. I'm going to give a boost to Jake Ferguson. I'm going to give a boost. So if we look at Singletary, I'm curious about the Cowboys matchup here. So they rank 14th against the pass. They rank dead last against rushing yards allowed per game. They're giving up 185.7. So obviously Singletary is the RB1 in this lineup. But then you want to find a smaller one for the Giants. And it depends on who it is. Tracy Jr., 23 yards. I mean, his best week came against them. Tyrone Tracy Jr. would knock off that box of 4,000 or less. So it's really Singletary, and that's basically it for a running back situation there. You got Gray, but again, Eric Gray didn't do much. So if I were to take anyone, it's probably going to bump up a little bit of the running back situation here for New York with Tyrone Tracy. So I'm going to put him up about 8. Okay? So those are just my initial ones. So we're going to bring over the settings. We're going to do what I love about what we have is you can do 5,000 lineups. So we're going to do 5,000. Correlation, move it up just 1. For instance, the game we are in, this is just showing you guys the 25-cent one, which I believe is 20 man. Okay. So we can do a 20 max lineup. And how many people are in this? 95,000. So it is going to go up to over 50,000. We're going to build the lineup. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this run, and then I'm going to show you these sims, the contest sims that I like. So I'm going to pause the video because it's going to take a little bit for 5,000 lineups to build, and then I will bring it right back once it is done building. Okay, so it built 2,000 lineups. You can do 5,000 when it's like a full slate breakdown. Speaking of, we are going to break down the main slate again, so make sure you stick around. We're also not today, but a different video. We'll break down the main slate. We put it out last Saturday, and you guys really liked that, so it's either going to come out Friday or Saturday. Will really just depend on what's going on. And then we'll have the Sunday Night Football, and then we do have 2 Monday Night Football games. If you guys want, I can break both of those games down. You got to let me know down below. So I did forget to mention, we have a giveaway every single video if you guys are around. So how to win. Like this video, be a subscriber, we're almost to 10,000, and leave a comment on the video. If this video gets at least 50 likes and you've left a comment, you have a chance to win a free week of FTA+. If this video gets 100 likes, it's a free month, 150 likes, a free year, 200 or more likes on this video, a chance at a lifetime pass worth $500. So make sure to like this video up and leave a comment if you would like a chance to win. Now, don't spam the comments with like 5 different comments of your name. Just leave a comment so the algorithm can pick it up. Okay, so what we're going to do is we go to settings, come down to contest sims, add a contest sim here. So then We are playing the NFL Showdown $20,000 quarter jukebox just on screen. So we come through here, and if you guys see it, let me know. There it is. So this one has 95,124, 95,124. So you save the settings, and then you run. So you can see, like, it's ranked this lineup number 1, 49,500 they've used, so not the whole thing. Projected score 86.9, ownership 159%. Stack was 5, so 5 Giants because they think they're going to be playing from behind. Sim optimals 4 and single game 468.82. Now I'm going to run the simulations, and then it's going to show you what their return on investment is predicted to be. So I'm going to pause it yet again and let it run the sims, and then we'll bring it right back. Okay, so it is now there. It has shown, so you can see this lineup with the 5 stack, they believe the risk-adjusted return on investment is 1.8%. Simulation return on investment, 1.2. Then you can see the second lineup return on investment, 18.2. So you can see, and this has changed a little bit. You've got 182%. It's a 3-3 stack. So it's got Daniel Jones at the captain spot. It's got Dak. It's got Singletary, Ferguson, Cooks, and Darius Slayton. So if we go look, I want to see why Slayton is questionable. Slayton is questionable. Limited participant in Monday. Again, same thing. Because I don't believe they usually have it. Hasn't really done anything. So that's something to monitor. So, if, for instance, Slayton is out, I think that does give a jump up to Wan'Dale Robinson a little bit more, even though he's been outpacing him regardless. 61 yards last week, 44 the week before that with a touchdown in week 2 against a very soft Washington secondary and defense there. So, that is one of the lineups there. You've got CeeDee Lamb at the top, Dak, Dowdle, so those 3. But again, I don't know if I trust the running back situation for Dallas at all. So you've got then Wan'Dale Robinson, Johnson, and Singletary though there as well. So Johnson, and then you click in here, you can see their projections, you can see percentage of sims, you can look at all of them and correlation. So this is where when you move the filters and the sliders, you can get the correlation or no correlation. So for instance, you've seen that, and the top one right there is 86.9. Okay, then this one is 89.7, then 89.6, then 89.6. So what we're going to do is we're going to change up the settings a little bit. We're going to do sim diversity. Let's do 8. Okay? Put the 8. Look at all of this. Lineup rules. I mean, you can put a lot of different rules in. It just depends if you feel comfortable. Now, with this showdown, it's really a crapshoot there. What I would do with lineup rules, in theory, would be to... that would be when you want to stack like QB +1 or QB +2 in the main slate where there are more games than what we have here. So obviously it's a little bit different when you're in a showdown because literally anything can happen in this game. You obviously have kickers as well. Brandon Aubrey coming in here has been one of the best kickers all season, has not missed at all. He's put up double-digit points every single game. Kickers aren't necessarily going to, be in the captain spot, but I don't mind a kicker being in my lineup here if it's Brandon Aubrey. You do have, you've got all these kickers for the Giants. Signed with the practice squad on Wednesday. He has not kicked. Did Gano, has he played at all? Week 1. Did not play in week 2. So then that was McTominay. Game log, well, no, it wasn't. So yeah, again, kickers... Don't really know. I think sneaky, maybe Giants defense. A little bit scared of that, though. So I'm going to rerun the sims as I move the thing down a little bit. I'll be right back, and I will pause it until it's done. All right, so looking at this, we can change it to change the sort direction, and you can see ranked number 1 because you've got, that's not good. Oh, that's the opposite. So let's go back here. It still has CeeDee Lamb as the captain and the only spot there. Honestly, I'm probably going to change it up a little bit. I think if I have Lamb, I've got to get Dak in there. So let's just see if we can build one by hand that makes sense. So I'm going to save 1,000. I'm going to put neighbors there. I'm going to put Lamb. I'm going to put Prescott. I'm going to put Jones. Now, oh no, hold on. Clear. Neighbors is going here. Lamb, Prescott, Jones. Now, we're there. We can only average 1,100 the rest of the way. So this might not be the most optimal build, but we do go down and we could find a cheaper player. It's going to be very hard to do that in this situation. So I think that's where you're going to have to kind of get a little creative. Maybe we don't put Dak in there, okay? Now we're at 4,200 a person. Now we've already talked and looked through a little bit of this. So is Bellinger going to be in there? 17 yards in week 3, nothing in week 2, 3 yards in week 1. But again, it's Thursday night. Anything can happen. Schoonmaker obviously is not the tight end one there. Only had 2 targets, 5 yards with Ferguson being back. We got Tyrone Tracy, which I think I like this a little bit. This is going to be one of those weird ones because everyone's going to be on Singletary, but let's build this like maybe Singletary gets hurt or they have a 2-headed back here because Dallas's defense has been so bad against the run this year. So now we're averaging 4,900 for both positions here, which is great. It's exactly what you want. Get me the Dallas kicker at 5,000, and now we're at 4,800. Again, we do not have to use all of the plays here, so you don't have to use all of them. You could look at Theo Johnson, who, cheaper option, only 3 targets with 13 yards. First week had 1 reception on 4 targets and 18 yards, so he hasn't done much, but he is there. He's an option. Cook most likely won't be on this lineup. Slayton's probably hurt, so we could go up to Wan'Dale Robinson. Game log-wise, all but 1 week he did well. Again, this is using all of the salary. You do not have to use all of the salary. I get that, but I don't mind this one. Now, this is a lineup where it is 4-2 Giants. We've got Aubrey as our kicker. We've got Lamb as the wide receiver there. So that's one lineup. So let's back up. Let's build another one. And again, you can use this however you want. So let's take a look at the captain spot. And this is what I love. So we can move over to the settings. You can see more stuff. So Malik Neighbors in the captain spot. Let's check out the winning lineup. Let's check out the lineup it shows there. So you have Neighbors, Prescott, Jones, Elliott, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Theo Johnson. That's not a bad lineup. Again, though, you've got Zeke in there. Now, he obviously could turn back the clock, and we could get a lineup there. So Neighbors, Prescott, Jones. So Neighbors, Prescott, Jones. You've got Zeke. You've got Wan'Dale Robinson. And then 3,000. So you could go Tyrone Tracy. It had Theo Johnson. Honestly, I think I'd rather go with Tracy and just hope that the defense gives up the points there that they have the first 3 weeks of the year. That is leaving 200 on the table. I don't mind that. I don't know if I trust Theo Johnson enough to put him in my lineup there. But again, it's 25 cents or whatever you're doing. If you make multiple lineups, this is definitely a way to go to build around. So let's check out another Malik one. So Malik is there, Daniel Jones, and then you got Brandon Cooks. We did forget about Cooks. Elliott Dowdle. I don't know if I like that. So let's try that. Let's go Neighbors as there. Okay. Daniel Jones is throwing to Neighbors. Then we get down to Brandon Cooks. If we look at Brandon Cooks, first week he did well against Cleveland's defense. Did have a touchdown in that one. But that's it. Okay. 6,400 he was there. He's now 6,800. He didn't do anything the past 2 weeks, really. Maybe he comes through here. So we've got 2 Giants, 1 Dallas. We look at that. I'm going to put Aubrey in there for sure. And if we put Dak in there, that's 2,200 for the last spot. And it could be a 3-3 matchup. So 2,000 for Brooks. Jalen Brooks, he's been active, but he really hasn't done much. You got Bellinger, who maybe comes through. We are just 600 short of Tracy. You've got Hunter. He's not going to do anything. I doubt he does anything. I should say that. Schoonmaker could be a sneaky one if Ferguson doesn't do anything. Bellinger makes a little bit of sense. I think I'm going to go, depending. I might go with Bellinger here. So we've got a 3-3 stack. Neighbors as our captain. We've got both quarterbacks. We have a kicker. And then I'm going to try to do this one again. But let's see if we can get... No, I'm not going to do both kickers because I don't trust the Giants. I don't know who's going to be kicking for the Giants. Or we could. Let's see. Okay, we'll put him in there. We'll get rid of Bellinger. We'll get rid of Cooks. We've got one kicker. Let's go with the kicker. Is it going to be Greg Joseph? Joseph will serve as the Giants kicker in Thursday division. Okay. So, didn't do much at all. Field goal attempted, missed that. Had 3 extra points in the other week. So we'll put Greg Joseph there. Now, that's not bad because now we can get 4,600 left. So you got both kickers. It might be a boring game. You got both quarterbacks, wide receiver in one. So we're looking at Turpin. Did really well against Baltimore. Maybe he's sneaky. You put Turpin in there. You got 600 left on the table. You've got 3-3 stack again. Dak throwing to Turpin. Everyone's going to be on CeeDee Lamb. And the name of the game is ownership. You want to get a little bit under the field there. So Neighbors as a captain. Dak, Daniel. We got both quarterbacks out the way. We got both kickers in there. Because if both quarterbacks do well, maybe they march down the field, get those points, kick the field goals. March down the field, get those extra points. They're kicked there. Then we look at Turpin as a cheap option, 4,000. He is still averaging 7.6 over 3 games. And that's just kind of how I build. If you want to check it out, definitely check it out. If you want to check out the Discord, all of the links down below. If you want to check out Sabersim, I don't have a referral link or anything. I wish I did. They don't have anything going on. I do believe you get a 5-day free trial if you sign up with Sabersim. So definitely check it out. Wait to sign up for this for Thursday night. Build around. If you like it, maybe you can do that as well. So that being said, that's what I've got in this video. If you found it informative, if you like what we bring to the table, make sure to subscribe. I want to hit 10,000. It's been 9 years on this channel. It's been a very long road with 10,000. I have not given up. I've done a video trying to get to 10,000. So if we can get there, that would be awesome. Good luck on this Thursday Night Football. Make sure you check out the rest of the content. On the website, we have a matchup tool, which is great. We help use it to build the main slate. We've got a full cheat sheet with all the plays. We got stacks on there for football, ones you should be looking at. We've got optimal lineups to kind of build off of. We've got cheat sheets for the main slate. We've got cheat sheets for the showdowns. We've got it all for you. So make sure you go check it out. A ton of information over there. NFL tab. We've got red zone stats, snap counts, player projections, fantasy points allowed by position, NFL odds, sports bets. We've got it all. So make sure you check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Make sure you check out the sponsor of this video, Outlier.Bet, if you were into betting this weekend. Good luck. Get into our Discord. We give a lot of free information away in that Discord as well. It's absolutely free to get in. Let's bring home some bacon this week. Peace.